Chapter 6. Slow Joe arrived home, his body intact but his mind broken. He sat in silence, trying to process the impossible. He whispered to himself, "Why am I still here? Why me? Is God real?" The question lingered in the empty air, but thinking only hurt more, so Joe numbed himself the way he always did, slumping into his couch, staring blankly at the TV, trying to drown out the storm inside. Then it happened. A sudden crack of glass shattered the stillness. The TV screen flickered as a bullet tore through his window. Joe froze, heart pounding, eyes scanning. Shadows slipped into his home, robbers armed and ruthless. They didn't hesitate, guns raised, triggers pulled. Joe dropped, body collapsing lifeless. But seconds later, he respawns. The robbers gasped in disbelief. Desperation seized them. Again, they pulled the triggers, emptying bullets into him. Joe fell, and again he rose. His existence defied reason, and terror spread across their faces. This time, Joe didn't just stand. He snapped. Fury boiled inside him. He grabbed a gas can from the corner, his lighter clenched tight in the other hand. His voice, raw and furious, roared, "Shoot, or I light it all up!" The flick of the lighter's flame danced in his eyes. The robbers, terrified beyond words, bolted from the house. Joe stood alone, shaking but unbroken. He dropped the flame into the gas. Fire erupted, devouring his home, the one place that once meant safety. Now it was gone, reduced to ashes. Joe didn't move. He simply watched the blaze, smoke curling into the night sky. It was destruction, but also a strange reflection of himself. He couldn't die, but everything around him could. Slow Morbius realized something chilling. Slow Joe wasn't just lucky, he was unstoppable. The robbers who had fled in terror now whispered his name like a curse. But Morbius wasn't finished. He had money, influence, and patience, and he knew the quickest way to hurt Joe was to strike at the one place he still cared for. His family. It didn't take long. On a quiet Saturday morning, they found her, Joe's mother, in a small sunlit apartment. Coffee sat steaming on the table. A cozy coat draped over a chair. She moved about her morning unaware of the shadow looming outside. Then came the knock. A dark figure, pistol raised, waited. One gunshot shattered the stillness. The mother's fate remained unseen, but the sound alone carried finality. Hours later, at a 7-Eleven, Joe's phone rang. The world seemed to stop. His mother, gone. Heart pounding, he raced through the streets, adrenaline and grief fueling him. Arriving at the apartment, he saw paramedics handling the scene. Everything felt unreal. Among the debris, his eyes fell on an old photograph, him and his mother at his high school graduation. The frame was cracked, glass webbed like broken time. She was smiling, so proud, so alive. Joe picked it up, thumb tracing the dust over her face. He hadn't seen her in years. Not since the day he left, saying he'd call. He never did. The weight of that memory hit harder than any bullet. Tears blurred his vision as the room seemed to fade, colors washing away until only the photograph remained, bright, warm, untouched by the world's rot. How can this be?" he whispered, voice breaking under the collapse of everything unsaid. Grief wrapped around him like a vice, pressing until it hurt to breathe. Pain, regret, anger, all twisted together, and somewhere beneath it, something began to move. A spark, a cold, determined fire. He stepped outside, watching the ambulance disappear into the distance. Slow Joe didn't cry anymore. He didn't scream. He acted. Pulling out his phone, he made a call. Then he headed to a nearby weapons shop, filling his arms with shotguns, grenades, and every tool of vengeance he could carry. His grief had a purpose now. Slow Joe was ready. The war had only just begun.